I'm going to show you why most experts struggle to sell their information, and it's probably not something that you're thinking about. You might think it's the marketing, you might think it's your offer, you might think it's your ability to sell, but what if I told you it's deeper than all of that? Because it is the one thing that makes the rest of those things matter, and it's your ability to teach. One of the things that I always like to say is if what you sell is expertise, you can't scale if you can't teach. So in this episode, not only am I going to show you some practical teaching strategies that you can use if you are an expert that is selling information, but also I'm going to show you some changing trends in the expert economy that are going to be able, that if we stay on top of these things, we will really truly be able to scale faster. That's all happening today on Monetize Your Expertise Live. If we're just meeting, I'm Darrell Williams Jr., and for over a decade, I've been helping people win through teaching. Not only am I an award-winning educator and speaker, but I'm also the founder of Monetize Your Expertise, which is how I help other business owners teach in a way that sticks so that you get better client results. That's it. That's what I'm here for. Let's dive into this thing. But before we get any deeper, I'm looking in the chat. You know, we are live. If you're live here with me, let me know that you are here, that you're watching. I can see you on my screen. I'm also going to pull it up on my second screen to make sure that you can even hear me, because there is a possibility that I'm speaking to no one right now. So let's just see. Pull it up. So that you get better client results. You can hear me. That's it. That's what I'm here for. Let's dive into this thing. But before we get in, all right, cool. I'm looking at it. I love it. This is my first time. I'm being honest. This is my first time with this particular setup, and I feel like it's really cool, really interesting, and I'm glad that we got it going. All right. So again, if you're here, you're watching, you're live, drop a comment. Let me know that you are seeing this, and I'm super interested and excited that you're here. All right. So, All right, here we go. We're going to start off this episode with a segment that I like to call the Expert Economy Pulse, which is a time where I'm going to look at some of the things that are happening that are affecting the expert economy. This is for all of my expertpreneurs. And if you're not familiar with what an expertpreneur is, let me break it down. Yes, it's a word that I made up, but that's okay. We can make up words. That's something that I can do, right? An expertpreneur is somebody who is an expert that sells their information in order to monetize, right? They are an expert in their field, and they're an entrepreneur. They're an expertpreneur. And something that sets expertpreneurs apart from everybody else is that the biggest thing an expertpreneur needs to know how to do is teach. Think about it. There are 4 different things that you can sell as an entrepreneur or a small business or anything like that. But as an entrepreneur, there are 4 things you can sell. You can sell products, you can sell services, you can sell SaaS, which is software as a service, or you can sell information. Now, if you sell products, services, or SaaS, you don't have to make sure that the thing that you are selling is understood by the buyer. Like, for real, think about it. If you are selling a t-shirt, they don't need to understand how the t-shirt is made. If you are selling a service, they don't have to understand how you're going to fix their toilet. They just need to make sure that you do a good job. Right? They don't need to understand the thing that you sell. They just need to understand you're going to do it well. It's one of the things I like to think about when I think about somebody who sells services. Like, just come on out and make sure the toilet is fixed, the grass is cut, the refrigerator is running. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need to know. You actually overwhelm me if you are a service provider and you explain to me everything you're going to do. I don't need to know everything you're going to do. I don't need to understand the service that you sell. I just need to understand. Okay, no, let me start that over. I don't need to understand the service that you sell. I just need to know that you're going to do it well. All right. And then if you're selling software as a service, SaaS, I don't need to understand how the software works. Most of you don't even know what GPT stands for, but you pay for ChatGPT, right? Like, you don't even understand how Claude works. You don't understand some of these software that you are using, but you know that it's going to get you the desired outcome, so you use it. With that being said, if you sell products, if you sell services, if you sell SaaS, the person that is buying doesn't need to fully understand the thing that you are selling. But if you are selling information, if you are an expertpreneur, you've got the knowledge. What your goal is, you want to get the knowledge out of your head and into somebody else's mind so that they can apply it to their situation and experience a transformation. If you are that person, they have to understand the thing that you're selling, which is your information. They have to, because if they don't understand the information that you're selling, they're not going to be able to apply it into their situation. They're not going to be able to see that transformation. So your whole business model literally is built on or is banking on the fact that people are going to be able to receive the information that you're selling. Your whole business model is built on that, which means more importantly than your marketing, more importantly than the offer creation, and more importantly than your ability to sell is your ability to teach the information in a way that people can interpret it, can retain it, and can implement it. Because if they don't do those three things with the information that you are selling to them, they're not going to experience a transformation, and they're going to say that your business is a scam or a sham, or you don't know what you're talking about. Right? They're not going to take the ownership on themselves and say, "Oh, well, they taught me very well, but I didn't apply it." No, they're going to be like, "I didn't learn anything." Right? Which means they can't experience a transformation. And think about it. I work with purpose-driven entrepreneurs, which doesn't necessarily mean faith-based, but it means that you have a purpose for the reason why you're selling this information. You're helping somebody automate their business with AI. You're selling the information for how they can do that. You're helping somebody create a dietary plan. You're selling information on how they can create a dietary plan that's going to help them lose weight and live longer lives. Like, you care about your clients, you care about your customers, you care about the transformation, or else you wouldn't be an expertpreneur. You wouldn't be in this business of selling information, right? You would sell a product, you would sell a service, and if you have the technical ability, maybe you would sell SaaS. But the reason why you are selling information is because you care about client transformation, because you want them to be able to take the information that you are giving them, apply it into their lives, and to then be able to grow as a result of it. You care about people. That's awesome. But the thing that breaks my heart the most is that I see so many people that are purpose driven, so many people that want to help people experience this transformation, but struggle to teach the information in a way that is able to be understood, retained, and applied, which means the exact people who you are trying to help, the very people who your heart is going out to really want to serve, are not experiencing transformation. That hurts. So that's why I really want to make sure that I help those people who want to get that information out of their head and into the minds of somebody else so that their lives are better as a result. I help you get the thoughts out of your head. I help you teach it in such a way that it sticks, and I help your clients get better results. That's what I'm here for, right? That's what I do. And obviously, as we know, which I'll break down in a little bit later, when your clients are getting better results, you can leverage those results for increased revenue. 100%. That's how it works. That's how business continues to grow. And as with that revenue, now you can serve even more people. You see how the cycle goes? But it all starts with your ability to teach. If what you sell is expertise, you can't scale if you can't teach. And if you're not scaling, that means you're not able to serve people at a higher level. So that's what matters to me. So let's dive into this expert economy pulse. What's going on in the expert economy? Those of us who are selling information, what are the things that are going on that are potentially affecting the way that we show up? And if you're here and you're watching live, go ahead and drop a comment so I can shout you out. I've got it all pulled up, and I would love to see who is tuning in. I know we had Dante tuning in from Australia a couple of weeks ago, right? So shout out to you if you're still here. Come on, Samuel. Come on, Samuel Giles Jr. Aren't you supposed to be teaching some first graders somewhere, man? Oh man, but shout out to you. Thanks for popping in. We've got some information. If you got questions, you let me know. But yeah, if you're looking for a second career choice, man, let me tell you this. Teachers have so much ability that you don't even realize what you can do outside of the classroom. And I'm a huge advocate for teachers remaining in the classroom. I was in education for 11 years, and I was called out of it because I just feel like my impact is going to go beyond just the classroom, right? But when I really think about it, the skills that the teacher has to master are so transferable into entrepreneurship, into ed tech, right? Into so many different areas. So Samuel, if you have an idea, like let's talk about it. Let's see how we can pull out of you how you can increase that impact. But I love what you're doing in the classroom. So keep doing that, keep showing up. Mia or Maya, shout out from South Africa. I don't know what time it is over there, but I'm glad that you decided to tune in. Maya, let me know if you identify yourself as an expertpreneur. An expertpreneur is somebody who sells information to make money. That's how you monetize. You sell the information. If so, let me know. I'd love to be interested in what you got going on. And let me talk about what's going on in the expert economy. I was reading an article this week that is about Google AI search is being sued, y'all. Google is being sued. And here's why. It's because they are diverting traffic from other websites. So, when you go to Google and you can search Google, and now there's at the top, there's that AI function. As a matter of fact, I've got a second screen. Let's pull this thing up. So, you can go to Google and you can search for anything. And actually, I don't need to go to Google. I can just go right here. Let's just search for anything. We can say, oh man, what time is it? No, what's the climate in South Africa? I know Mia's here in South Africa. What's the climate in South Africa? All right, and pull that up. And at first, it's going to give you this AI overview. You see that? So as I'm looking at it, I can see this AI overview right here where it's saying South Africa has a varied climate featuring subtropical conditions. Awesome. That's amazing. So I can have all the information that I want right here. And it's what Google is doing, and this is important because I'm going to show you what this means. What Google is doing is looking out to all the different websites, and it's pulling, see, you got the sources right here, and it's pulling this information to give you an AI overview of the information that you need to know. All right. Shout out to you, Maya. So you know that this is the climate that you are experiencing in South Africa. But here's the thing. Let's go back over to the article. Here's the thing. Publishers are now suing Google for its AI scraping the information from their webpage and putting it in that AI overview. So as you see, these sources that are on the right side, right? What we used to have to do is we used to have to go to those sources individually, go to their website and read through the information. Now, what they're realizing is that it makes more sense to just give you an AI overview where you can just have all the information there and I don't need to click on these links. Well, publishers don't like that because obviously they want people to come to their websites. And what they want to see happen is people that are searching for the climate that is in Africa or South Africa, they want them to click on their website, read through the information, right? And then be able to go down and see like this is the climate. And now they're on my website. I own them. Maybe I have a newsletter that I want them to sign up for. So they're getting customer information. They're starting to build relationships with us, right? All those things. But now, since there's an AI overview, we're not clicking on the websites. We're just reading the AI overview and we're getting the information. For that reason, that is why Google is being sued. So if we're reading it, it says IP owners that are heavily reliant on Google search, they have been reluctant to target that tech giant, which is Google. Why? Because their traffic has started to dramatically decline because people aren't clicking on their website. They're just reading the AI overview. So what does that mean for us? That is just another proof of the fact that information is so easy to find. It's easy for people to just go and find some information in an instant. That AI overview, it's actually so good that people don't have to go to the website anymore. They can just read the AI overview and get what they need to. It's funny because I remember when it first came out, the AI overview was not trustworthy. It was saying random things, like it was not valid information, but now it actually is, right? So Maya, as a coach, as an entrepreneur, you know that if what you are selling is information, it's so easy for somebody to just go online and Google that same thing. It's going to pull from multiple sources. It's going to go right there in the AI overview. So much so that it's actually disappointing the publishers because like people aren't even coming to our websites anymore because it's so easy for them to just find the answers with AI. So what does that mean? If AI is making content and information easy to access, it's making it cheap, it's making it readily available, the thing that is the most valuable in the eye of the consumer is the ability to interpret and understand that information, which makes teaching one of the most valuable assets for an expertpreneur. Anybody can find information, y'all. Anybody can go out there and get it. You just saw me. I Googled what's the climate like in South Africa. I can Google the same thing. How do I grow on YouTube, right? I can Google the same thing. How do I integrate AI into my business to automate it? I can Google the things that I'm searching for, the things that we're building our programs on, right? Maya, let me know what it is that you coach on in your entrepreneurship. But I can just Google this information and I can just get it very easily. I don't even go to the websites anymore. I just get it, which means when I come to your program as a coach, as an entrepreneur, as an expertpreneur, I'm not just looking for more information. I don't want you to just sit there and ramble off statistics and facts and information that I could have Googled or found in AI using ChatGPT or Perplexity or anything like that. I'm looking for somebody who's going to help me be able to understand that information, who's going to help me interpret the information that I was just Googling, that's going to help me figure out how to implement it into my life so that I can experience a transformation. Which means if you don't have the skill and the ability to teach well or to teach in a way that sticks, what's going to end up happening is people are going to work with others who do. They're going to pay somebody else to help them experience a transformation. So in a nutshell, if all you do is regurgitate information, you are not going to be competitive when Google does the same thing for free. Why would I pay you to get access to information when I can just find it easily online? What I'm paying you for is to teach it to me in a way that I can understand it, I can apply it, and I can experience that transformation. That's why teaching matters so much. And it's one of the biggest skills that expertpreneurs are missing because they don't realize how important it is for us to teach. Teaching is way more valuable than talking. Just because you have the information, just because you're knowledgeable, just because you got it, doesn't mean that people are going to pay you to talk about it. They're paying you to teach it to them, which means teaching is a huge skill that you've got to know, which is great that you are here because that is exactly what I help people do. I help people master the art and science of teaching so that they can teach in a way that sticks, so they get better client results, which obviously leads to more revenue. Right? So that is huge. And as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in just a moment a strategy that you can use that is going to help you to teach for transformation, right? I'm going to walk you through a framework that I like to use that's going to help you understand what happens as a result of effective teaching. So stick with me. I'll get that to you in just a moment. But there's another article that I wanted to talk about. We're here in the Experts Edge. Let me know in the comments, like, if this is helpful for you. Like, did you know this information? Were you aware that Google AI is being sued by these publishers? Let me know if it's new information to you. I think that's super cool. And if you find this segment valuable where I'm pulling information to you, let me know about that as well. So the next thing that I want to talk about, or the next thing that you need to know, this is critical. It's huge for us as expertpreneurs, especially because one of the ways that we market is through social media. Well, a recent article shows that Threads, let me pull this up right here. Threads has changed their requirements, which is going to allow you to attach longer texts. So I'll scroll down and I'll show it to you. This is coming from Threads themselves. Threads is through Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, all that information. So they're coming and they're rolling out a new feature that's letting you attach up to 10,000 characters to a text post. Now, Threads, if we're familiar with it, one of the things that makes or made Threads stand out is that Threads allows you to import. It was like a Twitter rival. Remember when Twitter was kind of going through the things with Elon Musk and all those, and people weren't necessarily using it anymore? Well, let me make sure that when I share my screen. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So remember, with Threads, it came out to rival against Twitter and X when they were doing all those types of things. So it came out just straight text-based, short information. Now they're saying that you can attach up to 10,000 characters for a text post. Let's keep reading it. In text posts with attachments, you can link out to your content, helping your audience discover your fresh and interesting takes off platform. This is interesting because a lot of times we understand that the goal of a platform is to keep people on platform as long as possible. But what Threads is now allowing you to do is not only attach more text to your text thread, but also embed links that you can take people off platform. If you have a newsletter that you want them to join, or if you have a webinar coming up that you want them to hop on, or if you have a booking form, if you're a speaker, you want them to come out and book you, you can now attach that link, which is going to link into your ecosystem, which is critical. But watch what they're saying this is going to do and make happen. It's going to help people more easily express themselves and promote and drive people to their own work wherever it lives. Why that matters to us is because as coaches, as entrepreneurs, I see you, Maya, right? It is critical if we want to monetize not just to rely on the social media platforms to pay us, but to get people into our own ecosystem where we can market to them, we can nurture them, we can show them how well we can teach them, we can help them experience transformation and provide value, so much so that they want to stick with us, so that they continue to work with us in our programs. They bring their friends into our programs, and that's how we grow a sustainable business, right? So with that being said, here's my takeaway from what I understand about this move that Threads is making. Let me know if that interests you. Like, wow, Threads. Let me know if you even use Threads. And you're like, wow, 10,000 characters. Like that's more than I thought. But let me tell you the bigger picture of what's actually happening here. All right, I see my arts and creative writing. That's so cool. That is so cool and critical. Because it's something that it like AI does a really good job of helping people write and get the ideas out of their head, but there's just an art to creative writing, and I'm sure that you've owned that process, and I think that's beautiful. So shout out to you. Right? Cool. So let me show you the big picture of why this even matters. The fact that Threads is allowing for 10,000 characters inside of posts means that they are realizing how important it is for people to spend time with creators. They understand that connection and trust is built with more exposure. If somebody's just reading, a couple of lines that you posted, they might screenshot it, right? They might share it with a friend. They might think, "Oh, that's super cool," but they may not want to dive deeper, deeper, deeper because it's just a small snippet, or they're not staying super long. They're not. It's very rare that somebody reads a sentence and then says, "Let me book this person to speak," or they read a sentence and say, "Let me join this 5-figure coaching program," right? What happens is they read a sentence that then gets them interested in you, and they do a deeper dive into your brand and what you're all about, the information that you teach. And then that says, boom, now perhaps I want to work with this person. So what Meta is realizing is, man, if we can get them to have, so what Meta is realizing is that, man, if we can get them to spend more time on platform or spend more time reading information that is put out by this creator, then we know it's going to build a deeper connection with this creator, and it's going to drive more people to the platform, and it's going to boost followers and all those types of things. And that's what they want to see happen. But more importantly, what I notice happening is that text is becoming a lot more pushed in these social media platforms. Video is still king. Video, YouTube, Instagram Reels, TikTok, like video is still king 100%. But I'm noticing that even with moves like this, with the fact that, again, Threads is saying you can increase up to 10,000 characters, what I'm realizing is that Threads, Substack is growing. LinkedIn has these articles and posts. Facebook is pushing more traffic to their longer blog style text form posts. And what I'm realizing is that these platforms are pushing text because text takes time to read, right? And we're staying on platform longer when we're reading through these long articles and things like that. So they realize how important it is to make sure that text is readable. So what's going to happen is content creators, expertpreneurs, people who are selling information just like us, what's going to happen is people are going to take this information and they are going to blast it across socials. They're going to use AI to blast it across social. I believe that right now we're going to see a lot more people who are writing blogs, a lot more people who are starting newsletters, a lot more people who are taking their IP that they were used to kind of just speaking out in the video, and they're going to push it out into the world in text form using AI tools to help them do that, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Claude. They're going to take their information, they're going to put it out into these articles, Substack, they're going to write ebooks, real books, like all these things, because AI is supercharging the ability to for us to get information out in text. And we're realizing that platforms are pushing attention to text even more. So people are naturally going to say, if I want to grow, I need to make sure that I'm covering my text-based basis. Is that making sense? With moves like this, what Threads is saying is we're going all in on making sure that people are reading text and taking time reading text, which means producers, content creators are going to start pushing out even more text, right? Video is not going anywhere, but they're going to start pushing out more text as well. So what does that mean for us? That means that you're going to be tempted to take the thoughts that you have, throw them into AI, create a blog, create a newsletter, create a Substack account, create this text-based post because we realize that text is growing, and you're gonna blast it out on so many different socials, Threads, X, the Facebook, Instagram, Substack, LinkedIn. You're gonna blast out these text posts to so many different articles, to so many different medium platforms, right? And then people are going to see this text that you put into Gemini, that you put into ChatGPT, that you put into Claude, that is your IP, but so well written and so thorough and so value packed. And they're going to read it and they're going to say, oh, this person is amazing. Like, I really want to see what more they have. And they're going to want to see your website. Now they see your social media presence. They learn more about you and they say, I want to join your program. And they get on a call with you virtually, or they come to an event that you're having, or they see you talk in person. And they're going to realize that if you can't teach the information, that you are a fraud. They're going to say, when I read the articles, they seem so deep. And when I read the articles, they produce so much high value content. But now when I'm working with them, all they're doing is spitting information. They're not teaching me. Which means if you don't have the ability to teach well, you're going to be seen as a scammer or a fraud. But if you do have the ability to teach, this is the time for you to really grow, right? Because if you do have the ability to teach, I'm going to show you a framework that you can use, or a workflow that I like to use using a couple of AI tools, which is how I take video-based information and turn it into literally years worth of content. I'm going to show you how to take 2 hours worth of video and turn it into 2 years of content in just 20 minutes. That's what I'm gonna do in about 10 minutes here, okay? Because one of the things that I realized is that the information that's in my head is valuable to other people. It's really gonna help them learn how to master the art and science of teaching. Like, it's going to help them. And I'm great at teaching it, so I know they're gonna experience a transformation. So people in my shoes, people who know how to teach the information, we're gonna win. We're gonna win in this era because we're not only getting traffic to us, but once the eyes are on us, we know how to teach for transformation. We know how to help people experience results. So we're going to leverage those results into more revenue. But for those that can't teach, you're going to blast out these text posts all over all the social medias. You're going to have newsletters, blogs, ebooks, real books, right? You're going to become an author, right? All these things. But then when people actually work with you, if you can't teach it, they're going to say, this man doesn't know what he's talking about. This woman is a scammer. She's like this, right? Because AI is just going to amplify your voice, right? It's going to make it look nice and pretty. It's going to start with get client attraction, right? But once they start working with you, you got to be the one that closes the deal. And I'm not talking about your ability to sell. I'm talking about your ability to teach for transformation. You got to teach in such a way that they actually are experiencing the transformation so that they want to continue to work with you. All right. So those are the two articles I wanted to point out, the two changing situations right now that are affecting the expert economy. One, remember we said that AI or Google is being sued for its AI overview and not allowing people to go to those publisher websites, which is critical, which proves that people are not doing a deep dive into websites anymore. They're going straight to the AI overview, which means information is so easy to find. They're going to go to the AI overview to find information, which means the reason why they're going to pay you is not to just talk about information they could have found for free. It's to teach them how to interpret, understand, and apply that information so they experience the transformation. So the biggest thing that you can do is learn how to teach effectively, teach in a way that sticks. The second thing we learned is that Threads is increasing the character count into 10,000 characters, which means these platforms are going all in on text, which means, yes, go ahead, use AI, blast text out, like take one thought and create different newsletters, articles, ebooks, books, do all the things. But still, at the root of it, you need to know how to teach, because once this gets more eyes on you, once this improves your marketing strategy, people are going to want to work with you. And when they want to work with you, if you can't teach for transformation, they are going to leave. One of the things that I always like to say is ChatGPT will help you get more eyes on your page, but the way that you teach is how you're going to get paid. Let me say it one more time, because listen, it's really easy to take your thoughts and your information and to put it in AI, to put it into Claude, into ChatGPT, into Gemini, and to generate dozens and dozens of newsletters, blog posts, articles, all the things. and get all that information out there and let everybody see it and let it sits you as an authority, a thought leader in that space. But watch this. ChatGPT will get more eyes on your page, but your ability to teach is how you'll get paid. It's going to get more eyes on your page. It's going to get that marketing, that information is going to allow it for people to see you and see what you're about. But once they get into your ecosystem, if you can't teach for transformation, they're going to leave. And that is not sustainable for business. It's not just about lead generation. It's also about client transformation so that they stick, refer, and the business grows. Got it? Get it? Good. Get it? Get it? Got it? Good. All right. So that was segment number 1, which is the Expert Economy Pulse. And like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a framework that you can use that's going to show how teaching for transformation leads to ultimately the treasure that we all want, right? And whatever that treasure is for you, we're going to define it in just a moment. And I'm also going to show you how to take 2 hours worth of content and spend 20 minutes with you and AI to create 2 years worth of posts. I got you in just a couple of moments. It's going to completely change the game, and people aren't using it in the way that I know that they should be using it. Okay. But we're now heading into segment number 2, which I like to call the mindset moment. And I know that some of us might start to get a little bit nervous about how easy it is to access information, especially as expertpreneurs or people who sell information, right? We're looking at the fact that it's easy to get information. It's easy to get onto ChatGPT, to Perplexity, to Claude, to find these things. It's easy. And we're saying, man, that's really going to hurt the expert economy. People like us who sell information, like, man, if I can access a free ChatGPT account and get access to all the information, why are they going to need me? The answer is because although information is cheap and easy to come by, people can get the information, but still not get the information. You know what I'm saying? They can retrieve the information. That doesn't mean that they're understanding and retaining the information. So yeah, maybe some of us are like, man, it's too late. AI already is taking over. Like, I need to find another business. Maybe I can go sell a product. Maybe I can go sell a service. Maybe I can go sell some. Maybe selling information is not the thing for me because information is out there. It's too late. You know, I really want to help people. I really want to help people, with repair their credit, but they can just Google how to do that. I really want to help people improve their health and to create a dietary plan that works for them, but they can just work with ChatGPT to create a plan. So maybe you're thinking like I really want to help people, but the information is so free and readily available that nobody's going to want to work with me. It's too late. I want to shift your mindset. It's too late for you to compete with Google. For sure. Like if your thought was to create a Google, it's too late for that. If your thought was to create a ChatGPT, it's too late for that. If you wanted to be Ask Jeeves, it's too late for that. It's too late for being the thing that spits out information. It's too late for that. AI is gone and on and rampant. I'll be honest with that. But what is not too late for is the ability to teach somebody how to interpret, understand, receive, and apply that information so they see the transformation. As a matter of fact, that is actually the biggest gap that I see right now. Information is easy to gather. Listen to me, y'all. Anybody can get information. It's easy. It's readily available. It's right there. It's so easy to go and find the answer to almost any question that you have. What's not easy is truly understanding it. What's not easy is implementing it into your specific situation. What's not easy is really understanding it in such a way that you know exactly what to do to get to your desired outcome. That's what's not easy. And that's where expertpreneurs come in, or people who sell information, because your goal now is to force implementation of the information that you sell so that people can experience a transformation. That is why people will work with you. So no, it's not too late. It's not too late for you to pop up on the scene, because the fact of the matter is, although the information is readily available, they haven't experienced you yet. Like it's not too late for you to show up. It's kind of like saying, The party don't start till I get there. Yeah, like it's not, if you haven't popped up on the scene yet, if your program is not available for somebody to take yet, right? If they haven't worked with you yet, it's not too late, because even though there's somebody else that has access to the same information as you, nobody has access to your unique abilities, to your unique experiences, to your unique perspectives, to be able to spit it out in such a way that somebody else needs to hear. Who you are made to be is exactly who somebody else needs to see. And there is somebody waiting for you. I'm so serious. There's somebody that's waiting for you to show up, because they are in a bind. They're in a tense situation. They are uncomfortable. They are struggling with something that you have a solution for in your mind. And if you are saying that it's too late, somebody else has, they can just chat GPT that information. Somebody else has a coaching program that already does that. Nobody is doing it like you, because nobody is you. It's not too late. It literally cannot be too late, because there's nobody else in the market who is you. So no, you might not have access to information that nobody else can find. I'm just being honest. There are other people who can help somebody automate their business with AI. There are other people who have the information to do the thing that you say that you help people do. But nobody can do it like you. One of the people who I like to think about in this moment is Kobe Bryant. And if you don't know Kobe Bryant, man, I don't know. I don't know where you've been. But Kobe Bryant is one of the best basketball players who have ever lived. Gone too soon, passed away a couple of years ago. But Kobe Bryant, man, was incredible at what he did. And it's crazy, because one of the things that Kobe Bryant said is, growing up, he idolized Magic Johnson. I know a lot of people think he idolized Jordan, but no, he idolized Magic Johnson. And he said, I wanted to play just like Magic. And he said, I would try to dribble just like Magic. I would try to do my passes like Magic. I would try to shoot like Magic. I would try to do all the things that Magic Johnson did. And he said, when I did that, I was just okay. I was just okay. Because the world already has a Magic. Magic Johnson already exists. Magic Johnson already did his thing. Kobe said, is when I realized that I had to stop being like Magic and start being like Kobe. That's when I became the Black Mamba. Like that's when I became MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, championship winner. That's when I became great. When I stopped trying to be like somebody else. So you might be looking at the scene and saying, there's already a Magic Johnson. There's already a Michael Jordan. There's already a Steve Nash, right? There's already a Dirk Nowitzki. There's already players out here that are doing great things. But if Kobe had that mindset, he would have never been Kobe, because he realized that although there's already a Magic, there's already a Jordan, there's not a me. And what I need you to understand is that there is somebody that needs the transformation that you are promising that you can help somebody with. Do you know how smart you are? Like, do you know how much information you have in your head that somebody else is just longing for? And yes, they can chat GPT the exact struggle that they have. They can chat GPT the exact question that they're dealing with, but they still need you and your unique perspectives, your unique background, your unique abilities, your connection, your love, your care, your support. They still need you to show up in their lives and help them experience that transformation. It's not too late. It's not too late for you to show up on the scene and make the impact that only you can. All right? So if that's somebody having a thought that, man, it's too late, I can't do this, I can't compete. No, you can't compete with ChatGPT. You can't. All right. So if that was your plan, all right, choose a different business model. But in the world of expertpreneurs, where we're teaching information and that's how we monetize, oh, there's space. There's space whether you are a community leader, whether you are a coach, whether you are a workshop presenter, whether you are a keynote speaker, whether you are an author, right? If you have information that can help somebody else grow and be a benefit to their lives, it's not too late, because nobody's told it the way that you can. You got me? So I just needed somebody to hear that and unlock that mindset real quick. It's not too late. All right. The edge is not about what you know. It's about how you teach what you know. And nobody's going to do it like you. Ooh, can't wait. Come on now. So here we go. I told you that I was going to give you a breakdown or a framework that I like to use that helps me to think about how we can actually grow and scale the business. So I'm going to transition in full transparency. I haven't done this. Woo, I haven't done this yet. So let me see. I'm going to transition to my new screen and see how this goes. Okay. If you can still hear me, let me know in the comment section down below that you can still hear me. If you can still hear me, let me know in the comment section that you can still hear me. I'm going to wait for you to, I'm going to wait until, where's my camera? I'm going to wait for you to confirm that you can still hear me before I get started, but it's okay. I'm looking at the comment section. Oh, I got you. You can still hear me. You can still hear me. I love it. All right, cool. Let me turn this down now. Okay, so let me show you what happens when you effectively teach. All day, we've been talking about the fact that it's not just about sharing information. It's not just about talking about information. It's about effectively teaching it so that people experience the transformation. But why does that matter? Let me show you why. Because when the first thing that you do is effectively teach. So imagine that for today's example, let's just say, and I'll write that a little bit bigger. For today's example, let's say that you are somebody who teaches business owners how to automate their business with AI. Let's say that's you, that's something that you do, that's who you help. Anybody can Google that information. Anybody can chat GPT that information, but they're coming to you to teach it to them effectively. That's what we've been talking about all day. How can you articulate it in such a way that it sticks, that I get it, that I understand it, and that I know how to apply it? Hold me accountable to implement those systems into my business so that my business actually grows and scales. Because that is the transformation that you actually want people to get. That's the result you actually want them to have. And that's how people are going to say, boom, boom, working with you was a great idea because you helped me experience these results. So the first thing that you've got to do is effectively teach. Boom. The first thing you got to do is effectively teach. Because when you effectively teach, the next thing that happens is that they experience a transformation. A transformation means that before they couldn't, then they met you, and now they can. And what people do is they work with people who are going to help them experience this transformation. AI is going to give me the information. Books are going to give me the information. But I need somebody to help me really interpret, to understand it. Like, let me break it down for me. Help me to make sure that I actually get it, because that's what's going to help me experience the transformation, which means whether you are a workshop presenter, a community leader, whether you are a coach, you're doing webinars, trainings, when they have that first experience with you, they need to be taught. Like, you've got to effectively teach so that they can feel that transformation. What does that transformation mean? I'll give you the breakdown. Again, sticking with the same example, let's say that you are helping businesses create systems in which they automate their systems with AI, right? And you're teaching them how to do that. If you're doing a workshop presentation or a training or something like that, you should be able to articulate it in such a way that they say, boom, here's a step that I can take that's going to help my business grow and scale. And based on something that you tell them or something that you teach them, they should now be able to implement it into their business, into their system, and see measurable growth. That's a transformation. Because something that you taught me, I applied it into my situation, or I implemented it into my situation, and that implementation led to a transformation. Remember, transformation is before I couldn't, then I met you, and now I can. So I've been transformed. What happens as a result of transformation? What happens as a result of you telling me something, me actually applying it or actually implementing it, actually trying it, it working, and me getting the desired results? What happens as a result? That's what leads to trust. Because now I trust that you are the person that understands my situation, knows what I'm going through, knows my pain points, my struggles, the things that make me uncomfortable. Like, you get me, and you know how to give me information and teach it to me in such a way then I'm going to get the desired result. I trust you. A lot of times, I'm going to be honest, this happens before somebody decides to pay you. See, sometimes we think like, man, I'm on this webinar. I can't give away too much information. Like I'm just going to share them about the program, or I'm going to tell them what's going on, and I can't let them, I can't give them my best stuff. Like I can't make sure that I don't want to give them my frameworks, my teacher. I don't want to give them all the things. So we don't provide enough value. We don't teach enough information. So they don't experience the transformation. They don't trust us enough to buy. Is this making sense? But if we have them on an experience, whether it's live, whether they're watching us on YouTube, whether they're, some of our content, if we are actually teaching them something that they can apply, they get it, they understand it, they implement it, they experience the transformation. Oh, now they trust us and they want to see what else we can do, because trust leads to traction. Traction means they want to stick around and they want to see how they can continue to work with us so that they can continue to grow. It starts with effective teaching. If I teach you well enough so that you get value that you can apply and that you get the desired result, that means that you've experienced a transformation. And because you've experienced a transformation from working with me, you now trust me that I can help you to experience some more. And because you trust that I can experience some more, you want to stick around me, which means that we now have traction and you want to see what else can you help me with? How else? What other pain point can you solve for me? What other solutions do you have to the problems that I'm experiencing? You see what I'm saying? Teaching leads to transformation, which leads to trust, which leads to traction, which ultimately, I know you thought I had no more space. You thought I was done. You thought that was the last T, but I still got space. Because ultimately, matter of fact, let me change colors. You're doing the most, Daryl. I know. Ultimately, that traction leads to treasure. And that treasure can be defined as whatever treasure means to you. When I think about treasure and I think about pirates back in the day searching for the lost treasure, nobody knew what was inside of it. Sometimes it was riches and gold and diamonds and jewelry. Sometimes it was like paintings. Sometimes it was coins. Sometimes it was empty, right? But like the treasure, the goal is like the treasure is what you imagine it to be. Treasure for somebody might be consistent 5-figure months. Treasure for somebody might be monetary. It might be 7-8 figures a year. But treasure might be the fact that you helped somebody that was in a tough situation be able to break free. That might be the treasure for you. Like you just want to help. You just want somebody to be better because of the things that you say. You just want to help somebody win. Maybe the treasure for you is just getting good client results so that you can make a difference in the world. I don't know what your treasure is, but I know it starts with your ability to teach. Because when you teach effectively, that then leads to client transformation. And they say, because you taught me this thing and I received value, I applied it, I saw the desired outcome, I experienced the transformation. And now I trust you. I trust that you can help me experience even more transformations. So now, yes, I'll buy into your program. I'll join your mastermind. I'll invite you out to speak. I'll pitch you to my organization. Now I trust that you are going to allow me to continue seeing transformations. That's what then leads to that traction. I want to stick around you more. I want to see what else you got. Right? I want to follow you on socials. I want to, again, bring you out to speak. I want to buy your book. Like I want to stick around because the information that you are teaching me is so valuable to my life. I'm experiencing transformation. I'm becoming better because of it. And when that traction happens, when they stick around, that's what leads to the treasure. That's what leads to them referring other people into your program. That's what leads to them experiencing the fullness of life that they can only experience because you helped them with that breakthrough. It leads to that treasure, whatever the treasure is for you, whether it's monetary or whether it's client results, like it leads to that treasure. And it all starts with your ability to teach. So now that it's all laid out, I hope that that's making sense to you. Sometimes people don't get it. You are an expertpreneur, which means you are selling. That's the preneur part. You are selling the information that you have in your head. But you got to teach in such a way that they experience a transformation. Because if all you do is give them information, all you are is ChatGPT. All you are is Google. All you are is Claude, right? And they expect that information for free at this point. So if all you can say is I'm going to give you some information, they're going to say I can get that anywhere. But if you can guarantee a transformation, if you can say I'm going to help you automate your business with AI so that you can spend some more time with your family, right? So that you can generate increased revenue, so that you can stop stressing about small, menial tasks, they'll say, boom, I want to work with you. Because that transformation that then leads to trust, which leads to traction, which leads to treasure. Got it? So this is a framework that I like to use. It all starts with what? Teaching. Because if what you sell is expertise, you can't scale if you can't teach. But once you teach, once you unlock the skill of teaching, it all starts right here. Let me circle it. Come on. Circle it, star it, underline it. Come on. It all starts with your ability to teach. That's number one. If you don't know how to teach, y'all, clients not going to experience that transformation. And they're going to, this is it. They don't go anywhere. They don't go down the path with you. That's it. There's nowhere for them to go if you don't teach them. So think about this as you are putting together your presentations, your workshops, your webinars, your talks. Make sure that you are providing, not just providing value, but you're teaching it in a way that sticks. If that's something that you need help with, that is exactly what I do. And as a matter of fact, we have a 3-day challenge coming up where I'll be helping you understand how to master the art and science of teaching, how to identify your natural teaching style so that you can leverage your strengths, but also close the gaps to the things that you could do a little bit better. I'm also going to help you create repeatable frameworks that you can apply in any situation to really help generate consistent revenue, because we've got these repeatable frameworks. I can just take them out and use them at any time, right? And I'm going to show you how to confidently put together your information in such a way that you take that stage with confidence, whether it's virtual, whether it is a podcast, whether it is a YouTube video, whatever it is, so that you confidently take that stage and you know that you are going to be able to teach for transformation, right? So we're covering all those things on the 3-day challenge. The link is in the description for you to find that. I'm going to pop back over to my screen over here because now I told you, I'm going to show you how I take 2 hours worth of content, spend 20 minutes with this AI tool, and create 2 years worth of posts. All right, that's coming up right now. All right, how was that? Was that fun? Was that cool? Got a little chance to go sit at the board, be my teacher self. We still see it on the board behind us, right? But I know that you are ready for it. You are ready for me right now to dive into what the segment that I like to call the Expert's Edge Review. I might change that name. I want to change that name. No, I might change that name. But here we are on Monetize Your Expertise Live. And this is a time where I'm going to dive into a tool that I like to use that is a tech tool that that is going to change the game. I'm going to show you how to take 2 hours worth of content and 2 hours worth of content, like 2 years. 2 hours worth of content. Okay. I'm going to show you how to take 2 hours worth of content and in less than 20 minutes, change it into 2 years worth of posts. If that sounds interesting, stick around, watch this, check it out. The tool that I like to use is called Poppy AI. If you're unfamiliar with Poppy AI, I'll show it to you right here, right now. Poppy AI is this right here. Go to getpoppy.ai. And I'll be honest, I'm not sponsored by Poppy AI or anything like that. It's just a tool that I've been using. I was put onto it by Nikki Saunders, and I've been using it. I'll also be honest and say that this is not one of the free tools. Okay, it's not a free tool. It's something that costs money. It actually costs a lot of money. Well, I mean, a lot is relative, but it's not like a $20 a month. I think it might have been $400 for the year, but that's the only option. There's no like month-to-month option or anything like that. So I think it was $400 or so at the time that I purchased it. There's a higher tier, but I think I got the $400 one. But saying all that to say, maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but let me show you what it can do, and you let me know if it is something that is valuable to you. So we go to Poppy AI. I'll log in, and you get to see my board. Basically, what it is kind of like a mind map that shows you What is this? What is this? What is this? I already have Poppy AI. Why are you trying to sell it to me again? Okay, so anyway, here go the prices. Oh, they do have a monthly plan now. So it's $199 a month, $399 for the year, which that okay, like that doesn't even make sense. So don't do $199 for a month. Don't even do it. Or $997 for the lifetime. I think I did $399 for the year. But saying all that to say, I want to go to my account. Why can't I just oh, maybe I clicked the wrong button. Oh, I didn't click get Poppy. Sorry. All right, here we go. This is my account. Let me take it back to on my board so I can show you what it is. So I can show you what it is. What's up? All right, so here we go. This is Poppy AI. This is what it looks like once you're on the inside. And basically, it creates kind of a web flow, a brainstorm mind map type situation. But I'm going to show you how I use it to take the information from 2 hours and spend just about 20 minutes with it and show you how to then turn it into 2 years worth of posts. The board that I'll use today, let me go, don't want to go YouTube brainstorm. No, I know what I want to do. I want to go with where is it? Not the webinar. Is it a brainstorm? No. Interview recap? That can't be it. YouTube posting guide? No, I don't think that's it. Hold on, y'all. I could show you the YouTube posting guide. Oh, I know why. I didn't create a board for it yet. So, how about we create a new board right now? Ha ha ha. LOL. Here we go. I'm going to create a new board, and this one is going to turn. Yes. Okay, cool. Got it. So, here we go. All right, so here we are inside of Poppy AI. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new board that is going to take my content from what I'm doing right now, which is a live, about sometimes a 2 hour like, well, okay, let me break it down like this. I'm all over the place right now. Here we go. Okay. All right. So first, let me explain to you what I'm even doing. The way I'm going to take 2 hours worth of content and spend less than 20 minutes with it and then convert it into 2 years worth of posts is by doing exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into my workflow. I'm currently at minute 57 in this live, and I currently have one person watching, which is actually me on my cell phone right here, right? But the reason why I go live is right now at this point is not because I expect hundreds of people to be watching. I don't expect 100 people to be watching. The reason why I'm going live right now is because I want to create hours worth of content. For the last hour and for the next 35 minutes to an hour or so, I've been speaking about frameworks that I teach. I've been speaking about my ideal customer avatar, the person that I help. I've been speaking about, right, like the things that I teach, how I help people master the art and science of teaching. Also that my IP or my intellectual property, the thoughts that are in my head, are now all in one video. And not all of my thoughts, but these are a lot of the thoughts that I have, the frameworks, again, all these things, they're in one video. And what I can do is I can take this exact video using this tool, Poppy AI, which I just mentioned. I'm going to walk you through it in a second, and break it down from a big video into different chunks and segments that we can create carousels, we can create text posts, we can create reels, we can create blogs, we can create articles, ebooks, you know what I'm saying? Because of this 2 hour content. So let me show you exactly how it works. Here's the Poppy AI. And I'm going to create a new board. Those are the boards that I currently use. It's funny, when you create a board, it gives it like this random name, but I'm going to name this Turn Live into Content. And the first thing that we can do is we can integrate an AI chat. This is where the conversation is going to happen. So if you look at the AI chat, what's happening here is here's where I'll tell it to do anything that I want it to do, blah, 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 blah. That goes right there. And I tell it which AI tool I want it to use. It's linked to Claude, to ChatGPT, to Gemini, to Grok, right? And for this, I'll probably use Claude. And The way that it works is we are going to take information and we're actually going to link it to that chat box that I just created, that chat bot. And we're going to take information, and what it's going to do is read the information that we upload, whether it is text, whether it is audio, whether it is a video. It's going to read and interpret the audio, the content that we upload, the information that we upload, and it's going to do what we ask it to do, and it's going to generate an output. So what I would like to do is take a live. Let's just import a YouTube video. Can I go directly from you? So let me actually go with my last live. If you were here with us last week, you've seen it. Oh, I got a couple people going live right now. But last week I went live. I go live every week. This is my current live. This is last week's live. And you'll see this is an hour and 50 minutes. I went live last week, an hour and 50 minutes. So let me just share that link with Poppy. What it's going to do here is take that video and add it to the board. So you see right away, it says that it is now transcribing this video. It's already read it, the title, the hidden business skill that is costing you money. But now it's transcribing that video. So I'm going to give it some time. Let me know. You can already see it, right? I'm going to give it some time to upload that video and really understand that transcript. Is an hour and 50 minutes. So I know it's probably going to take a little bit of time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on this prompt. What do I want it to do with that video? Now, for me, here's how I'm going to turn into 2 years worth of content. I know that in that video, there was multiple different segments. So we can break that down into 5-10 minute segments that could potentially be standalone YouTube videos. If I can come away with 5 to 10 minute segments, that creates 4 YouTube videos for me. That's a month worth of content based on one live. So not only is the live itself content, but if I could break that down into a 5 to 10 minute video, then now I have 5 weeks worth of content, which is over a month. But not only that, I can also take that live and I can turn it into text based on some of the common themes. Like, can I then create an article post? Or can I then create, you know what I'm saying, a carousels or things like that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Poppy and I'm going to create all the things that I want to create from this video. So I'll just create a text box and I'll just talk about or embed the things that I wanted to create. I want to create 4 long form YouTube videos, standalone long form YouTube videos. I also want to create let's go with 10 text posts for Instagram or Facebook. And those, are going to be a little bit different. Let me spell Instagram, right? Those are going to be a little bit different than, I'm going to go with 4 articles for LinkedIn. I'm just spitballing here. These are in no particular order. 4 articles for Substack, which I want to do a deep dive on that one in a little bit because Substack is completely new to me. What else do I want? And these numbers are arbitrary. I know that based on what I did last week, based on the live that I had last week, I know that there's at least 4 solid segments because I scripted it. Well, I had 4 kind of bullet points that I worked through. They might find more, but I know that there are 4 solid segments. So maybe if you're doing this for yourself, maybe you allow it to kind of find the amount of segments that it wants to find, but that's completely up to you. All right. And then carousels. I believe that I can come up with, if I'm doing 4 articles, let's just stick with 4 carousels for Instagram. That's kind of what I want. And I think that'll be enough for now if we start there. So these are the things that I want. Now, we can also link any information that we think might be relevant. So for me, I know it's super important for me to let people know about the opportunities that I have and that the offers that I've created to really help them grow and scale. It's a disservice if all I do is sit here and talk about the fact that you need to master the art and science of teaching. You need to master art and science of teaching. If you're an expertpreneur or somebody who sells information, you need to become a better teacher. And I have that knowledge, but I'm not giving you an opportunity to learn from me, right? So that's why I've created offers to make sure that people can learn from me. I have this 3-day experience where people are going to learn from me how to how to monetize their expertise. And I feel like that is something that can be kind of woven into some of these things. So here's what I'll do. I'll create a group. And in this group, I'll just put a whole bunch of information that it needs to know about me. So I'll put my brand guide. And the great thing is I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of already have a brand guide. And as a matter of fact, it's in another copy. So let me see let's even copy and paste. It's not even something that I know that you can do. So let's pop back over here. No, is that not how we do it? For my YouTube brainstorm, I've done the same thing. And here's my content, my brand guide, my source of truth for my framework that I teach, the attention to income cycle. I always talk about the 4 teaching archetypes. Here is an example of that. I wonder if I can copy this group. Oh, snap. Let me see if we can copy it to another board. Turn live content. I've never done this before. If it works, I'm going to be like, yay. Oh, that's actually pretty fire. Okay, cool. If I was Nikki Saunders, I would have that press that button right there. But so it already has my brand guide, social truth for my intentions to income cycle, my 6 principles of effective instruction, my webinar that I teach, which is how to turn a small audience into big revenue. The only thing I realized is it does not have my 3-day challenge. So let me get the information for my 3-day challenge. I don't need you anymore, buddy. Okay, so let me back that up. And I'll show you how to link and connect this in just a moment. But let me actually get that 3-day challenge. There's a document. I believe I already have it. Let me search for it. Here we go. I know you want to see all my files. I know you want to. My 3-day challenge is actually called an accelerator. And I'm looking. Somebody play some music for us. I don't see the source of truth for that, but I do see my offer stack source of truth. So I'll upload that. So if you want to see what that looks like. So I just uploaded a file, which is my offer stack. So that's everything that I offer. I'll drop that in there. But I also want to be very specific about this monetize your expertise 3-day accelerator. So let me go ahead and find that. So I'm going to pop back over here. I know where I have it. It is actually on Google Drive. So let me go into my Drive. The source of truth for the accelerator. And we find that. This is just a testament to why it's so important to be organized. Like I've got this challenge. I've got these on my files, like exactly where they're supposed to be, and I can find them. So for example, it's so cool. So here's actually where I started planning it. It started off as a 5-day challenge. Then I'm kind of going down to what we'll cover in the challenge, and then I've updated it recently to then just a 3-day, and all those great things. So let me just get the information that we need here. And actually, one of the things that you can do is just kind of copy and paste. So I'll do that now. Copy this information. Da, 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 da. Love it, love it, love it. Got it. I think that's it. Okay, cool. All right. So I wanted it to get all of the things that I am speaking about. Okay, so now that I've got that copied over. One of the things I could do is just straight download it, but I could make another text document. I just want to show you how that works. Here's just another text document. And here in the notes, I'll just say that these are the notes for my 3-day accelerator. And I'll add that here into this box. So I made it a little bit bigger so it all fits. So here's all the information that it has about me. That's going to be relevant, obviously, as it's creating content. Now, if I wanted to, I could also upload examples of my voice, but it has my article. Like, it has my 2-hour live. That's what makes this a whole lot better. It already has 2 hours of a live for me, right? Now, one of the things that I probably will strengthen up, which I don't have time for on this video right now, but I want to show you that as possible. I will probably create specific rules for each based on how I've been performing in the past. So for example, I don't want to just say create 4 LinkedIn posts. It doesn't know how I like to have a LinkedIn post, right? So I would give it some parameters for LinkedIn. So I would take this text box and I would create another one that's just for LinkedIn. Actually, I'll probably create a group. In a group, I'll show you what I would do. I'll create this group and I would name it like post guidelines. And in there, I would have different documents like that explain, here's how I like my Instagram posts, right? Here's the feel, here's the goal. I really like to lean into memorable phrases or, for me, I like quotes that are sticky. If what you sell is expertise, you can't scale if you can't teach, right? Things like that. How is Substack different than LinkedIn? Here's what I like to do on LinkedIn. Here's where I target. Here's where I focus. So what I'll do is I'll create post guidelines. I just won't do that on this video right here. So that's for me for later. But right now, I just want to show you how it works. So what we do next is we'll attach this video, attach that text, and attach this whole group down here. And zoom out so you can see like these are all attached to this chat. And now inside this chat, I'm using Claude. I'll let it know exactly what I want it to do. And because my microphone is connected, I can just speak directly to it, just like how I'm speaking to you. I would like for you to is it connected? Hold on. Let me see. I don't know which microphone it's using. Okay, cool. So stop moving. Okay, so it is working. Cool. So I would like for you to take this information that is inside of the live that I have connected. It's the 2-hour live. Read through it and internalize it, understand it, break it down into different chunks that could then produce the outputs that you see in that text. Make sure that each post is coherent, a complete thought. Stay true to my voice. Make sure that it sounds like me. Avoid M dashes and emojis. That's not my style. But make it clear, coherent, standalone thoughts that can be posted individually. Okay. So now I put that in there and you can see it's thinking using Claude. And here's what it's done. Let me slow it down so that we can read it while it's doing that. So it's going to tell you what it's about to do. It says, I'll analyze the live video content and create the requested outputs in your authentic voice. Let me break down the insights from your 2-hour live session and create a coherent standalone content pieces. Boom. Listen, bro, didn't I just tell you? Didn't I just tell you I love to repeat memorable phrases? How is it that the very first thing that I pulled up was one of the phrases I say all the time? Here's post 1. If what you sell is expertise, you can't scale if you can't teach. Most entrepreneurs think their problem is marketing or their offer, but here's the truth. If people show up to your webinars and say, that was really good, but they don't buy, the issue isn't your marketing. If clients join your programs, but don't stick around, or finish your course, the problem isn't your offer. The missing business skill is teaching. You've got the information, but you're not articulating it in a way that creates transformation. That is a post that I can make. The caption would then be some sort of call to action to join my webinar, my challenge, something of that nature. But notice look at how we started, y'all. Look at how we started. Pay attention to this. I started with a 2-hour live. I said this at some point in my 2-hour live. I started with a 2-hour live and just went for it and put all my thoughts, my ideas, my frameworks, my teachings, my strategies, talked about my offers. I put all that information out there. So now I can pull it down into these separate different posts. Isn't that so cool? It took 2 hours for me to record that one live. And now in less than 20 minutes, I've created all of this. And I know I told you I was going to create 2 years worth of content. Let me show you how this turns into 2 years worth of content. So post 1, post 2, post 3, we can go through all of them, but it created 10 posts. Oh, what's this one? I spoke to 6,000 people once and killed it. High energy, throwing gifts, long line for book signing, pictures, the whole thing. But only one person bought my $99 program. Why? This, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is, I told that story. I think this is cool, man. So why? It was more inspiration than information. People felt good, but couldn't do anything with what I shared. They wanted pictures with me, not to work with me for a year. That's when I learned the difference between performing and teaching. My voice, my IP, it's from my life. And now these are going to be posts. Does that make sense? All right. 4 YouTube video ideas, the hidden business skill that's costing you clients. All right. Why I only sold one program to 6,000 people. I can chop that up. So 4 different videos ideas. Here are LinkedIn articles. Now, this is explaining the article, the expert paradox, why being smart isn't enough. And then I'm sure that I could sit with it for a little bit, rerun it, and create a whole article based on this prompt that it gave, as long as that video is still connected. And it's just telling me what are these 4 articles going to be. Boom. It's talking about these Substack articles and then these carousels. Slide 1, introducing that teaching archetype framework. Boom. Isn't this so cool? So now I've got all these carousels, and it says all this content maintains your authentic voice, avoids emojis and em dashes, and presents complete coherent thoughts that can stand alone as individual posts. I think that's actually super fire. I think that's super, super cool, because now, again, I'm bringing you a little bit into my insights. I am an expertpreneur as well. Like, we are all in this thing together. So I want you also not just to think about what I'm teaching you in the overt way, but also think covertly what I'm teaching you. Watch my systems and behind the scenes. The purpose of me going live, there is nobody watching right now except me. The purpose of me going live at this point in my journey is not because I'm trying to it's not because I'm trying to reach hundreds of people at once. The purpose of me going live right now is to challenge myself to get the frameworks out of my head and clearly articulate who I help and how I help them, but also have this arsenal that I can now turn into content that is going to go live on socials and serve as marketing material for me, which is going to start phase 1 of the attraction to the attention to impact cycle, which is gathering attention, right? So this is why I do this. Now, like promised, let me show you how I'm going to turn this into 2 years worth of content. So I love that. I'm going to keep that, save it. Boom. Here we go. Now, based on, I guess I could just speak it out. Sorry. Okay. Now, based on the content that you just created and looking down into the information that I provided about my ideal customer avatar and all the information that you can see about my brand, I would love for you to anticipate what questions this unearths in clients or potential clients, so that I can preemptively answer those questions in long form content over the next 2 years. All I need for you to do is to give me a theme for each month for the next 24 months. And from there, I will create content to address the questions that they have based on the information that I just taught. Now, full transparency. 2 years is pretty fictitious. You know what I'm saying? But I just want you to see, like, the way that you can turn this into 2 years of the content. It's moving right now. So 2 years, honestly, to me is pretty fictitious. I'll probably just, instead of using and committing to all 24 of these, I'll read through the ones that look pretty good to me. And then I'll take those and create some videos about them. But I just want to show you how you could use this. I didn't ask for content for 2 years. I asked for the theme for the next 24 months. And now I'm going to build content based on that theme. But that is a clear roadmap for the next 2 years if possible. Let's look at what it created. Scroll back up to the top here. So Poppy AI is cool, y'all. Boom. Based on your content and ideal customer avatar, established entrepreneurs making 4 to 5 figures a month who are experts but struggling to scale inconsistently. That was in the notes that I gave it. Here are the anticipated questions that they'll have after consuming your content, organized for the next 24 months. Month one, wait, I'm not actually teaching? How do I know if I'm talking versus teaching? What does transformation actually look like in my niche? And am I really in unconscious incompetence, or do I just have bad marketing? So a couple of weeks ago, well, last week on the live, I talked about the fact that talking is not just teaching. And I talked about the fact that a lot of us think that we are teaching. A lot, because you have the information and because you're talking about it, you think that you're teaching, right? So what's actually ended up happening for a lot of people is that you are sitting in what I like to call, or the learning stage of unconscious incompetence, which means you don't know that you're not good at teaching. That's unconscious incompetence. You don't know that you're not good at this thing. You think that you're doing well with teaching, so people, you don't think you need me. Like, you don't think you need to hire me to help you master the art and science of teaching, because you're like, oh no, I'm good. But what I have created is actually a quiz that you can take that helps reveal if teaching is the thing that is keeping you from scaling as an expertpreneur or somebody who sells information. Because honestly, sometimes it could be your marketing. For sure. It could be like, yeah, no, you're actually teaching very well. The reason why you're not scaling is because you don't have enough eyes on what you're doing. All right. Sometimes it could be your offer. And it's like that offer does not provide enough value for people to want to exchange money for it. Sometimes it could be your ability to sell. It could be like, those could be the things. But when you work through the assessment, you'll be able to understand, is it teaching though? Because if people are joining your webinars or your presentations and they're telling you that you did a great job, but then they won't buy, the problem is probably your teaching. It's probably not your marketing. You got people on the call. It's probably not your offer, right? Because, well, I mean, it could be your offer as well, but it depends on some other ramifications. Like, if people have bought in the past, then it's probably not your offer because people have seen value in it. You're just not scaling at the ability that you want to. You're not converting at the percentage that you want to convert, or not as many people are buying as you want to buy. So that could be what's happening on the call. Remember, look back here. If you're not teaching for transformation, okay, it's backwards. If you're not teaching for transformation, then people are not going to trust you, right? So actually, I have it's a whole button for that. So look, remember, if you're not teaching for transformation, they're not going to trust you. If they don't trust you, there's no traction, and there's no treasure, right? So that's why the teaching for transformation matters. Saying all that to say, Poppy looked at my video, saw that, and said, people are probably going to have this question. Am I really unconsciously incompetent, or do I just have bad marketing? So it's telling me you should probably produce some content preemptively that addresses that question, and actually already have, which is why I created that quiz, so people can take the quiz and realize if the issue is their ability to teach, or if it's something else like marketing or their offer or something like that. All right. So month two, which teaching archetype am I? Month three, right? So all of these now are themes that I could have for the whole consistent month. Sorry, for the next 2 years. And that, my friends, is how you take 2 hours worth of content and break it down in less than 20 minutes and create 2 years worth of posts. It's crazy. So again, that tool that I use is called Poppy AI. And again, it's not free. And again, it's also not that cheap. So it's $3.99 for the year, or I think it's $1,000 for the lifetime access to it. But I will say that after the 3 months that I've been using it, it is a game changer. And I think it's only going to get better based on some of the things that the developers have spoken about. I was on a call with them 2 days ago, and based on the things that are kind of coming down in the product roadmap, I'm super impressed by what they're doing. So I'm an advocate for them. I'm not sponsored by them, but hopefully someday I will be. All right. So with that being said, this has been an hour and 23 minutes. You already know what I'm about to do with this. I'm going to take this information. I'm going to create some content out of it. So for those of us that were here live, which was Maya, Maya and Samuel, for those of us that were here live, appreciate you being here. It means the world to me. And for those of us that are going to receive value on the back end for me breaking this down, I'm just super excited that you had the opportunity to get there as well. So here's what I need you to understand. Okay. So here's what I need you to understand. If while you've been watching this live, you said, man, you're right, Daryl, I need to learn how to teach better. Like I need to understand how to teach for transformation. I need to realize that when I teach well, then my clients will be transformed. And when they're transformed, they trust me more. When they trust me, that creates traction, and that traction generates treasure, whatever that treasure is for you. If you realize that, and you're saying, I want to go further faster, I want to help master the art and science of teaching in at least as least amount of time as possible so that I can get to enjoy my success for longer, that's exactly who I help. And as a matter of fact, I put together a 3-day accelerator for us to be able to do just that. In just 3 days, not only are we going to identify your natural teaching style, but I'll show you what power moves you naturally make, as well as which things you don't think about, but that you should do in order to teach in a way that sticks, as well as create some repeatable frameworks that you can use for, so that you can use for predictable revenue. Like that's what we're covering over the 3 days. You're going to walk away with the frameworks. You're going to walk away with the confidence. And you're going to walk away with the realization and the ability to close that gap in your teaching practice. So if you know that that's something that you need because you're ready to grow, you're ready to scale, then the link is in the description below for you to join the 3-day Monetize Your Expertise Accelerator. That way you can go from inconsistent months to predictable revenue. You can go from people that just give you applause to people that actually join and buy your programs, right? Those are all the things that we're going to cover inside of the 3-day accelerator. I'm super excited about it. It's happening very soon. So go ahead and check that out. So if you want the system, if you want to figure out how to do that, then that is all going to happen as a part of the challenge. And let me just let you know that the whole, like I am somebody who you can trust. Think about the framework again. Tell me if this is you. Have you been on this call? Have you experienced any of my content and realized, man, this guy is really teaching me. I'm really understanding that teaching is a skill that I need to grow. Not only is he talking about it, but he's teaching about it. He's showing in real time. Like I need these skills in order to help grow. It's because I know what I'm talking about. For over a decade, I've been helping people win through teaching. That's whether it was in the classroom, whether it's from the stage, I realized that the same things that helped me become a 2-time teacher of the year inside of my 6th grade math classroom are the same principles that I've used inside my multiple 6-figure speaking business. Like it's the same skills. And I realized that it was because I mastered the art and the science of teaching. Some of us get the art of teaching, like we're cool, like we build relationships, we're engaging, we have a great time, but we miss out on the science that actually makes teaching stick. Some of us are really strong on the science that makes teaching stick, but we're not good with the art of teaching, which means people are not engaged and not listening to us because we're not captivating attention. You need to have both the art and the science of teaching in order to actually help people understand the information that you're teaching. Again, AI is going to give people information, but it is up to you to make sure that you teach it in a way that sticks. ChatGPT will get eyes on your page. The way that you teach is how you'll get paid. All right. So make sure that you are leveraging AI for sure, 100%. That's one of the things that I love to do. I love AI, but also make sure that you understand how to teach well. And that is exactly who I help. You're not learning from somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. Again, I was a terrible teacher. When I started teaching, I was terrible. I did not know how to get my students to sit down. I didn't know how to teach the math the way they wanted to learn it. Nobody wanted to learn math anyway. All right, my data was terrible. My principal almost let me go at the end of the first year. I was a terrible teacher. But I figured out how to master the art and science of teaching, and I transitioned from that terrible teacher to a 2-time teacher of the year. I then transitioned into starting my business where I helped teachers learn how to teach. And I traveled the world over the last couple of years on big stages, on small stages, in schools and organizations. I'm helping people learn how to train and teaching them the art and science of teaching. And I realized, boom, why don't I do that for other expertpreneurs as well? People who sell their information. If I can teach business owners that are purpose driven, that want to do good in the world, how to get their good information and knowledge out of their head and into the lives of somebody who can be transformed, I feel like that's what God has called me to do. Like, I want to help empower these business owners who have a business that are going to help empower others to be great in the world. Like, that's really what I want to do. So why not? Let's do it. You're learning from me again. I'm not, people say, I learn I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. I bootstrapped, I had to figure this out on the fly, I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. No, I learned from the school of Johns Hopkins University and the University of North Carolina. I have 2 master's degrees in education, right? Like I've understood and learned the art and science of teaching, not just students, but adult learners as well. I mastered kind of like the human psychology of learning and all those types of things. So you're not learning from somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. This is research backed. It is scientifically proven. And I also apply in real time in practice the things that I am empowering you to do as well. So click the link with confidence. The link is in the description below for you to join the 3-day Monetize Your Expertise Accelerator, where I'm going to show you how to get those thoughts out of your head and into the minds of your clients so that they can experience the transformation and you can increase in revenue. That sounds interesting. I can't wait to see you there. Until then, check out some of the free content. I've got it for you. And I believe you're doing an amazing job. I don't even know who you are, but I feel like you're doing an amazing job. If you are alive, if you are breathing, if you are trying, if you are not afraid to make mistakes, I believe you are doing an amazing job. All right, you got this, and I've got you. I'll see you soon.